Well, hello, how are you? Hey, friends, welcome to the Shen Show. I am your host, Shenandoah Briscoe, coming to you live right here in St. Charles, Missouri. Hey, you know what? Today's Friday, June the 9th, 2023. Got happy birthday shout outs going out to Abaya, Javonillo, Renee, Dawn, Class, Dana Ehlmann, and Madison, Kinzie, Briscoe. So, without further ado, hey Madison, hey Dana, hey Renee, hey Abaya, hey, it's your birthday today. So, happy birthday, I must say. You know, I'm 4 year older today, so happy birthday to you, I say. I said, hey Abaya, hey Renee, hey Dana, hey Madison, hey, I heard it's your birthday today. Wow, that's another trip around the sun that you made. I hope you're enjoying your special day. My brother. It's your happy birthday day today. Happy birthday day today. Hello, welcome to the Shen Show. You are on the air. All right. I guess I'll catch you later then. I can't get to the speaker. It went away altogether. All right. Well, stupid thing. I don't know what's going on with it. There. What? Are you there? Yeah, I'm here. You're on the Shen Show. Oh, okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Got any music I should sing? Not really. Okay then. Put some more on there where we get jazz. Huh? Okay, I already cleared off everything I had on there. Okay, love you, bye. Alright, bye too. Bye. There we go. Alright, there's my brother, folks. You had to jump on in there. Alright, so I'm glad y'all enjoyed your birthday song. I hope you did. Having these muscle spasms, they're just kind of kicking me around is what they're doing. Anyway, we got some Shen Show fans. We certainly do. Marianne Williams Briscoe, that'd be a.k.a. my mommy. Keith Woodfin, Martin Kelly, a.k.a. Smiley. Richie Humarito, Lori Moore, a.k.a. Lori Taylor, a.k.a. Thumper. And Sweet Sunny Day Girl, a.k.a. Rachel. Then there's my Pokey pals. Can't forget my Pokey pals. Hey, where'd the word Pokey go? That's my word Pokey. In the middle of a thing. There it is. All right. Anyway, Pokey pals Darla Gilmore, Teply, char, Sanders, Julie Regot, and Sue Little. Oh, and Dana Jannings popped in just a few moments ago, so she got her Pokey pal catch in there. All right. Wake up. Cap that. Wake up. Cap that. Cut that. Backspace. 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 Paste that. Backspace. Backspace. Press spacebar. Go to sleep. Oh my goodness. Alright, so anyway, those are the Shen Show shout outs for today. This is going to be a short show, folks, because I'm getting beat up. I'm getting beat up. Oh. Yeah. Ow. Well, no wonder I got a foot that's sitting sideways. It's been doing it all day long. I don't get it. It just won't set up straight. Doesn't want to turn out right. All right, anyway. Let's do the story time with the kids. Hey, kids. Jump up on the couch or jump up on the bed wherever it is. You rest your sleep a little head. TV, Grandpa's dreadful while y'all sleep for some bedtime story. Yeah, just a bedtime story for the kids. All right. Alrighty then. Lowe's has got a Memorial Day sale going on. Got weed eaters and blowers and short saws and all kinds of neat stuff. Ow! My neck is pinned in a jam and jammed in a pin. Not feeling good at all. Muscle spasms are kicking my hiney and hiney my kick, but they ain't feeling good at all. Well, I'm just muscle just messing them. Hard to test. Can't really get right. Oh, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Do. Oh, I'll pull button that. How the moon became beautiful. Now we've read that before. It's kind of a weird story. All right, we're gonna do Huckleberry. That's what we're gonna do, Huckleberry. That's what we're gonna do. More than 100. Okay, kids, are you ready? Here we go. More than 168 years ago, there lived a curious personage called Old Riddler. Well, his real name was unknown to the people in the part of the country where he dwelt. But this made no difference, for the name given him was probably just as good as his own indeed. I'm quite sure that it was better, for it meant something, and very few people have names that mean anything. He was called Old Riddler for two reasons. In the first place, he was an elderly man. Secondly, he was the greatest fellow to ask riddles that was ever heard of, and so this name fitted him very well. Old Riddler had some very peculiar characteristics. Among others, he was a gnome living underground for the greater part of his time. He had ample opportunities of working out curious and artful riddles, which he used to try on his fellow gnomes. And if they liked them, he would go above ground and propound his conundrums to the country people, who seemed sometimes guessed them, but not often. And in fact, it is the fact is that those persons who wished to be on good terms with the old gnome never guessed his riddles. They knew that they would please him better by giving them up. So he took such pleasure in telling him the answers to his riddles that no truly kind-hearted person would deprive him of it by trying to solve them. You see, as old Riddler used to say when talked to on the subject, if I take the trouble to make up these riddles, it's no more than fair that I should be allowed to get the answer. And so the old gnome, who was not much higher than a 2-year-old child, though he was quite a vulnerable head and face, was much was very much encouraged to by the way the people treated him. And when a person happened to be very kind and appreciative and gave a good deal of attention to one of his conundrums, that person would be pretty sure before long to feel glad that he had met old Riddler. Now there were thousands of ways in which the gnomes could benefit the country folks, especially those who had farms or gardens. Sometimes old Riddler, who was a person of great influence in the tribe, would take a company of gnomes under the garden of someone who he wished to do favor, and they would put their little hands up through the earth and pull out all the weeds, roots, uh, and foremost. And so that when the owner went out in the morning, he would find his garden as clear of weeds as the bottom of a dinner plate. Of course, any of one who has habits of this kind must eventually become a general favorite, and this was the case with old Riddler. Now one day he made up a splendid riddle, and after he had told it to all the gnomes, he hurried up and uh, propounded it to some of the human persons. He was in such a haste that he actually forgot his hat, and although it was late in the fall, he wore his cloak. He had not gone far, though, through the fields before he met a young goose girl named Lois. She was a poor girl and was barefooted, and as old Riddler saw her in her scanty dress, standing on the cold ground watching her geese, he thought to himself, now I do hope that that girl has wit enough to understand my riddle, for I feel that I would like to get interested in her. And so, approaching Lois, he made a bow and politely asked her, can you tell me, my good little girl, why a ship full of sailors at the bottom of the sea is like the price of beer? The ghost girl began to scratch her head through the old handkerchief she wore instead of a bonnet and tried to think of the answer. Because it's low, said she, after a moment or two. Oh no, said the gnome, that's not it. You can give it up, if you can't think of the answer. No, said Lois, because it's sunk. Not at all, said old Riddler, a little impatiently. Now come on, my girl. You, you much better give it up. You will just hack at the answer until you make a good for nothing. Well, what is it? Said Lois. I will tell you, said the gnome. Now, pay attention to the answer, because it has gone down. Don't you see? Asked the old fellow with a gracious smile. Yes, I see, said the goose girl, scratching her head again. But my answer was nearly as good as yours. Oh dear me, said old Riddler. That won't do. It's of no use at all to give an answer that is nearly as good enough. It must be exactly right, or it's worthless. I'm afraid, young girl, that you don't care much for riddles. Yes, I do, said the goose girl. I make 'em. Make 'em, exclaimed old Riddler in great surprise. Yes, replied Lois. I'm out here all day with these geese, and I haven't anything else to do, and so I make riddles. Do you want to hear one of them? Yes, I would like it very much indeed, said the gnome. Well then, here's one. If the roof of the house were flat instead of slanted, why would the rain be left like a chained dog? Give it up, said old Riddler. Because it couldn't run off, answered Lois. Very good, very, very good, said the gnome. Why, that's nearly as good as some of mine. And now, my young friend, didn't you feel pleased to have me give up the riddle and let you tell me the answer? Straight and true, just as though you knew it ought to be. Oh, yes, said the goose squirrel. Then, uh, I'll then, well then, continued old Riddler, remember this. What pleases you will often please other people, and never guess another riddle. Lois, although a rough country girl, was touched by the old man's earnestness and his gentle tones. I never will, said she. That's very well managed. That's a very well managed girl, well meaning girl. And said old Riddler to himself as he walked away, although she hasn't much polish, I'll come sometimes and help her a little with her conundrums. Old Riddler had some had a son named Huckleberry. He was a smart, bright young fellow, and remembered his father in many respects. When he went home, the old gnome told his son about Lois, and tried to impress on him or on his mind the same lesson that he had taught the young girl. Huckleberry was a very smart and good little chap, but his he was quick-witted and rather forward, and often made his father very angry by guessing his riddles, as so he needed a good deal of parental counsel. Nearly all that night Huckleberry thought about what his father had told him, but not at all as old Riddler intended he should. And so the next day he started off on his mission. The first person he saw was a very small girl playing under a big oak tree. And when the small girl saw the young gnome, she was frightened and drew back, standing up as close against the tree as she could get. But up stepped Master Huckleberry with all the airs and grace that he could command. Can you tell me, my little miss, said he, why an elephant with a glass globe of goldfish tied to his tail is like a monkey with one pink eye and one of a Nazarene blue? Nope, said the little girl. I don't know. Go away. Oh, said Huckleberry, perhaps that's too hard to do. I know some nice little ones in words of one syllables. Why is a red man with a green hat like a good boy who has a large duck in a small pond? Who is like a large duck in a small pond? Go away, said the small girl. I came here to pick flowers. I do not know riddles. Perhaps that one was too easy, said Huckleberry kindly. I have all sorts. Here is one with long words, divided into syllables. It says, and I'll say it slowly for you. What is the difference between a magnanimous shipmate and the topmast leaf leaflet on your grandmother's barberry bush. I haven't got any grandmother, said she. Oh, well, any grandmother will do, said Huckleberry. I can't guess it. What happened there? Go to sleep. What happened? I can't guess it, said the small girl, who was now beginning to lose her fear of the funny little fellow. I never guessed any riddles. I am not old enough. Very well, then, said Huckleberry. I'll tell you what I'll do. Let's sit here under the tree, and I'll tell you one of Father's riddles, and give you the answer. His riddles are better than mine because none of mine have any answers. I didn't put answers to them, for I can't never think of any good answers. I met a boy once and told him a lot of my riddles, and he learned them and went about asking people to guess them. And when the people gave them up, he couldn't tell them the answers because there were none, and that made everybody mad. He told one of his riddles to my grandmother. I think it was the one about pink-eyed monkey and the wagon load of beans. No, said the small girl. The elephant and the goldfish was the other one, the other part of the pink-eyed monkey. Oh, I I don't make any. It, oh, it don't make any difference, said Huckleberry. I don't join my riddles together the same way every time. Sometimes I use the goldfish and the elephant and the last part of one riddle, and sometimes with another, as there is no answer anyway. It doesn't matter. I began a good many of my best riddles with the elephant, for it makes a fine opening. But as I was going to tell you, this boy told one of my riddles to his grandmother, and she liked it very much. But when she found out that there was no answer to it, she gave him a good box on the ears. And that little boy has never liked me since. But now I'll tell you a story. That is, it's like a story, but it's really a riddle. Father made it, and everybody thinks it's one of his best. There was once a fair lady of renown who was engaged to be married to a prince. And when the wedding day came around, they went they were to be married in one of the princess's palace in the mountains. And so she went. She was so long getting dressed. You see, she dressed in one of her father's palaces down in the valley that she was so afraid she would be late. And so, as soon as her veil was pinned on, she ran down to the stables, threw a wolf skin on the back of one of the fairest of the chargers, and sprang on him. She dashed away. She wasn't used to harnessing horses and was in such a hurry that she forgot all about the bridle. And so, as she was dashing away, she found she couldn't steer the animal, and he didn't go anywhere near the prince's palace, but galloped on and on and on, and every minute taking her further and further away from where she wanted to go. So she couldn't turn the charger, and the prince got angry and married another lady, and nobody knows where the fair lady of renown went to, although there are some people who say that she's galloping yet. and trying to get her veil around the charger's nose. Now, why was it that the fair lady of renown never married? Answer: because she had no bridle. Ha ha ha! You could say either bridle, or bridle, because they both sound alike. And if she had either one of them, she would have been married. This is a pretty long riddle, but it's easier than mine because it all fits fixed upright with the answer to it and everything. You like it better than mine, don't you? Small girl didn't answer, and when Huckleberry looked around, he saw that she was asleep. Poor little thing, said Huckleberry softly to himself. I guess I gave her too much riddle to begin with. Her mind isn't formed enough yet, but it's pretty hard on me. I've wanted to teach somebody something, and here she's gone to sleep. I wish I could find that goosey girl. Yeah, father couldn't teach her something. I'm sure I could. And so he went walking through the fields, and pretty soon he saw Lois standing among the geese, who were feeding on the grass. Huckleberry skipped to up to her, and lively as a cricket. Can you tell me, said he, why an elephant with a glass globe of goldfish tied to his tail is like the Lord High Admiral of a British Isles? Was the globe of goldfish all the elephant owned? Asked the goosey girl thoughtfully. Yes, said Huckleberry, but I don't see what that has got to do with it. Then the answer is, said Lois, without noticing this last remark, because all his property is entailed. Well, I declare, cried Huckleberry, opening his eyes as wide as they would go, if you didn't guess it, why, I didn't know it had an answer. I wish it hadn't had an answer, said the goosey girl, suddenly stamping her foot. I wish there had never been any answer to it in the whole world. It was only yesterday that I promised old Riddler that I would never guess another riddle, and here I've done it, and it's too bad. No, I don't think it is, cried Huckleberry, waving his little cap around by the castle. It's very, very well for father not to want people to guess his riddles because they've got answers, and he knows what they are. But I would never have known that any of mine had an answer if you hadn't guessed this one. If you had a riddle like this one, wouldn't you have been glad to have someone tell you the answer? Yes, I would, said Lois. Well then, my good girl, remember this. If a thing gives you pleasure, it is very likely that it will give somebody else pleasure too. And so let somebody else have a chance. And the next time you hear a riddle that you think the owner has no answer for, guess it for him if you can. Goodbye. And away went Master Huckleberry, skipping and singing, snapping his fingers, and twirling his cap until he came to a wide crack in the ground. And when he rolled himself up a like a huckleberry dumpling, and went tumbling and bouncing down into the underground home of the gnomes. Get out the way, said he to the gnomes he passed, as he proudly strode to his father's apartment. I'm going to make a report. For the first time in my life, I've taught somebody something. When Huckleberry left her, the goose girl stood silently in the middle of her geese. How brown was her brow was overcast. How's somebody to do the things that can both be done? So she exclaimed at last, I have nothing more to do with riddles as long as I live. And so there you have it. She just gave up on riddles altogether. Okay, well there you have it. That was it. That was TV Grandpa with for the kids. Now it's time for the Daily Bread portion of the program. Daily Bread portion of the program is going to be brought to you today by the Bible with Briscoe 2023. The Bible with Briscoe 2023 will be the reading in the Bible with Briscoe 2023 today will be Second Chronicles 32 through 33 and John 18:19 through 40. So don't forget to tune into the Bible with Briscoe 2023 for your daily reading of the Bible. Our place of safety, Psalm 121. Our place of safety, Psalm 121. I lift up my eyes to the mountains. Where does my home, or where does my help come from? May my help come from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. He will not let your foot slip. He will watch over you and will not slumber. Indeed, he who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord watches over you. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. The Lord will watch over your coming and your going, both now and forevermore. There you go. That was Psalm 121. Our place of safety is in the Lord. All right, that's the Daily Bread portion of the program brought to you today by the Bible with Briscoe 2023. The Bible with Briscoe 2023 is a daily reading of the Bible to be completed within 1 year. Don't forget to tune in to the Bible with Briscoe 2023 for your daily reading of the Bible. All righty, hey, that's it. That's all. That's the Shen Show in a nutshell. I'm going to be jumping off of here, so y'all just have a blessed evening, and why, we'll check out what's going on tomorrow night. All right. Have a good day. God bless you. Goodbye.